MMA Oddsbreaker, I'm Frank Trigg. That is Little Bulldog, Felice Herrig getting ready to fight Tecia Torres coming up here on Invicta 7. You're, geez, like every time I see you, do you actually train? Because every weekend you're out doing an appearance. Almost every night you're out doing an appearance. And then legitimately, when I talk to Brian Butler, your manager, every 2 weeks there's a brand new photo shoot being done with you for another sponsor, another company. And it's like, when do you have time to actually train, sleep, and rest? Like, take care of yourself to get ready for a fight.
I actually train in this 9 weeks. I only left one time, and that was for the UFC in Vegas, and that was just with the announcement of them making the 115 announcement. But other than that, I actually train 6 days a week, 2 times a day. My only day off is Saturday, which conveniently worked out for the UFC because I trained that Friday night. I trained Friday during the day. Then in the afternoon, I got on a plane. I went to Vegas. I was there for Saturday, my day off. I came back Sunday. I got off the plane and I went to the gym.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, most people will take a Sunday off. How come you take Saturday off? Why is that the day?
Because I have a boxing coach that I've worked with actually since I started fighting, and the day that works best for him is Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So it just works out. It's just scheduling.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if there was some particular thing that you had to do on Saturdays, or just the way your body operates. You've always been more of a sleeper on Saturday. What the deal is, but that it's schedules are schedules. It just depends on how life goes on. And I honestly thought every time I look, I'm like everybody else. I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on Facebook. I follow you on Twitter. You're always doing something. And I was like, there's no way this girl is training, because she's always got, Brian's got you running through the run. You're like the face for Brian's company, for his management team. And you got to do a photo shoot like Felice does. You got to go do these appearances like Felice does. Like, that's kind of what the sense I get from watching what goes on. And it seems to me like you're super busy and really didn't have time to train for a 9-weeker, but obviously you're telling me you did.
Well, I think it's also, when you see, like, we knock out, like, when we do a photo shoot, it's actually always right before my fight, and we'll do so many different looks for that shoot. Sometimes it's like, we do like an 8-hour photo shoot. So just because a specific picture or style of photos comes out during a certain period of time doesn't mean that photo shoot is actually recent. We actually trickle out pictures here or there for sponsors, and Brian's actually really particular. We don't just do a photo shoot and then post all the pictures. We spread it out. For whatever my sponsor wants, for whatever event I have coming up. So a lot of it is actually, I usually end up doing one photo shoot before my fight when I'm in good shape, and then here and there we'll do them when I'm not actually in camp.
I did see the Happy Birthday Bruce Lee one where you were in his yellow outfit. I knew that was a photo shoot from before, because I've seen that photo previous. It just got revamped and reset for the Happy Birthday Bruce Lee. So that all makes sense now. It all kind of comes together now with your timing and how things are. You're also, most women in MMA are as outgoing as you are, and they're very vocal, and they sell themselves very well. You seem to sell yourself better than anybody else does. But those that sell themselves very well aren't very private with their private life. Your private life seems to be relatively private. And the reason why I'm raising it is because obviously we saw each other at the UFC. That's when GSP made his announcement, hey, I have to step back for a little while. I have some issues going on in my life. I keep part of my life private that you people don't know anything about. And for you and George, it seems to work. And I've been trying to do the exact same thing with my personal private life since that night, since I saw you. And it's kind of scary to like pull back on that whole business. How do you not let that stuff trickle out of what's going on with you?
I know, it's actually funny too, because my life is like an open book. I'm usually so open, but I try to keep, like, my social media is, it's all for social media purposes. I use social media as a business, so I'm pretty much like, I post like fun and goofy things, but I also, like, when I'm out, like when I'm having fun, when I'm with my friends and whatnot, or with my family, I give them the level of respect to when I'm with them, I'm just with them. So just like I said, for me, like, I use social media as a business tool. And I want my fans to, like, see my personality, and I want my, to work well for my sponsors. But I've always just used the social media as business, and I think that's why. You know, I don't post anything too personal put anything too personal out there.
You know, my biggest problem is that I'm a foodie. And so when I do cook at home, I do go out to eat. I do like to take pictures of my food and post them on Instagram specifically. And traditionally, you want to tag the people you're with. Like, hey, I'm having dinner, I'm eating this thing, whatever. And you definitely want to put the restaurant you're at to kind of give them a little prop and all that. So what I started doing is I said, well, I'm going to take the photo. Right when the food comes down, take a photo. Boom, put my phone back in my pocket. Finish dinner, go home. And then take the minute to go upload it to Instagram, but hours later. Not tag anybody that was with me, but tag the restaurant, tag what I had, put a little post out about it, and put it out. And then it's like, okay, I still did it, but it's just been later. Like, I didn't do it then.
It's actually better that way, too, because, I mean, I don't want to say it, but there's, like, stalkers out there. You know, if you're posting your stuff out, like, I try not to put out there where I'm at. I try not to give any indication of my location. I try not to say too much about who I'm with, and if I do, it's delayed like that as well, because what if the person that I'm with posts, like, oh, I'm at such and such place? You know, I really try to keep, I've had weird stalker issues, you know, so I
don't know why they have weird, I don't know why they have weird stalker issues. You're a hot chick that knows how to fight. Like, no weird stalkers, no, there's no fetish guy out there at all. It's just begging to have some of your old dirty socks. I can't see that happening at all. I mean, I didn't one of your weigh-in outfits go for like an exorbitant amount of money that you wore for weigh-ins because
just the top. It was for a good cause. It was for a breast cancer foundation, the Ms. and Emmer's Breast Cancer Foundation. My last sports bra, the Supergirl sports bra, went for $1,100. It was actually the highest bid they've ever gotten on a sports bra since they started.
You know, you're kind of the exact opposite for me when it comes to your fans, because you've had some pretty weird stalkers, and I do know some of the history with those stalkers, so I'd be cautious too if I had the same issue. But my thing is, I don't care. Every single fan I got, I want them to find out where I am, because at some point they're not going to be my fans anymore. Because trust me, I'm going to say something that's going to irritate them, and they're going to be gone. Like I gotta say, you know, I want to keep them around as much as I can.
Well, I also have a filter. I have no filter, but Brian Butler, my manager from Sucker Punch, he's my filter. Sometimes I'll post something. He's like, "You can't post that. Take it down right now." You know, before anybody sees it.
Your potty pictures.
He keeps me. He's like my PR guy.
Yeah, all your potty pictures. I remember you stick a lot of pictures of yourself on the potty. You know, and he's like, "Yeah, take those down. Take those down. Take it." I'm like, "Oh." But
yeah, those got banned. I don't know. It's just like I do things like. I'm being goofy, I'm just being random, and then I'll do them, and then people, like, it gets so much attention that I'm like, oh, whoa, that's weird. I just did this as, like, a joke, and then, but that's kind of how I am with social media. I repeat a lot of things. Like, I had my bedhead pics, I had my potty pics, which I can't do anymore, but I try to kind of brand an image for myself. That's why you'll also see at weigh-ins, I always have a theme. My weigh-in theme matches my fight outfit theme, which this one is awesome. I can't wait, and I can't say anything about it, but I'm pretty excited about it.
All right, let's talk about the fight. You get ready to fight Tecia Torres, Invicta 7, December 7th in Kansas City, Missouri, at the Ameristar Casino. She's only 3-0. You're 9-4. You're on a 4-fight win streak. She hasn't even had that many fights.
Right.
But it doesn't really equate. I've talked to a lot of guys. Like, records don't mean anything anymore. There's a reason why she signed to Invicta, and there's a reason why she's fighting you. She's got to have some talent that Shannon Knapp has seen. Do you see? What do you see in her?
Also, I didn't have the luxury of having an amateur career. She's actually 7-0 as an amateur. So, and she has an extensive kickboxing career, as do I. So, really, she has she has 10 MMA fights. I have 13 MMA fights. So it's really, you know, and a lot of it too is stylistically. It's a good matchup, and it's exciting matchup. And they already had 3 title fights on that they didn't want to, you know, have another somebody from out of the country come in. You know, it was just an opponent thing, you know. But stylistically, it's a great matchup, you know.
Her last time out, she fought Rose in Invicta 6. What did you take from that fight? I'm sure you watched the film on it. What did you take from that?
I was actually at that fight, and I've trained with Rose too. I think that Rose didn't play. I think Rose could have beat her. I think that Rose didn't play the game plan that she should have. I think she wanted to prove that she could strike with her, but she also did it stylistically. I think she should have tried to take the fight to the ground. And I think Tecia's, I think she's one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've seen one of her fights. You've kind of seen them all. I saw her Invicta debut. It looked pretty much similar to, they all look the same. I don't see her doing anything to me that I haven't seen before. And from that fight, I just, I saw that Rose, she should have tried to take the fight to the ground, stylistically, just with Tecia being more of a striker. But, she didn't.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on here. I appreciate it. I think this fight with Tecia is going to be interesting because she does have, 7 amateurs, 3 pro. She's got a little momentum going with her, but she is very one-dimensional, like you said. And I've been trying to analyze this fight, to kind of see which way, how I can see this fight breaking down, how I can pull apart. And I'm having a hard time trying to figure out if she's actually learned anything down there in Florida as far as the ground game goes when it comes to MMA. I really haven't seen much from her on it, and when she's there, she looks really uncomfortable even when she is there. So I'm wondering, is she going to be one of those, especially because you have an extensive kickboxing background, trying to keep it on the feet the entire time to keep you from making it going to a ground game and you get on using some of that current Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and beating her up with it? Because I think she has a little worry about being on her back. I really get that sense, but like I said, I've never interviewed her. I don't know her. That's just me watching footage on her and trying to figure out which way she would go.
Yeah, I agree. But she's very good at getting up. Like she goes to the ground and she gets back up right away. But even from her fight with Paige Van Zandt, she looks very susceptible to takedowns. She seems to get taken down easily. So I mean, her wrestling doesn't seem as good as it should be for somebody who doesn't want to go to the ground. But anybody, like, fighters evolve like all the time, constantly. I don't know how much she could have evolved from her last fight, against Rose, because it really hasn't been that long. I mean, I know for me, I'm always evolving. You can look at my last fight, and it's no indication of how I'm going to fight this next fight around, because I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly working on my weaknesses, just trying to become a better fighter and evolve into an MMA fighter. And any smart fighter, would do the same, but some people get stuck in their ways. They're good at one thing and they have a really hard time, trying to really learn the other elements. And sometimes you get away with, you don't realize you need to learn it because you've gotten away with it for so long. Right.
And that's, that's a fault of every athlete. They get away with this particular technique and particular move. They never change it because it's working for them. And we're all from the same sense. If it's not broken, why fix it? Kind of thing. You learn how to fix it after you fall face first one time. Oh, yeah, I better fix that thing. Last question before I let you out of here. You were obviously at the UFC for the announcement of the new 115-pound weight class for women. Has there been any indication of when they're going to try to swoop you up and take you over?
Yes. And I mean, right now I'm not looking past this fight. That my main concern right now is Invicta 7. That's all that's on my mind right now, and all the rest of that I let my manager deal with that. I let because that's not something that I don't get into the business end of it. I let my manager, I let my coaches, they can deal with that, and then when the time is right to make proper announcements, then it'll all come out. Until then, it's just kind of like.
So you know exactly when you're going over. You're just waiting on. You just won't tell anybody.
Maybe I
don't. No one's going to pay attention to this interview, Felice. No one's going to hear it. You might as well just tell me and my mom. My mom's my only fan. She's the only one that listens. Okay, my son, my elder son, he watches. But that's it. 2 people. That's it. So you might as well just tell me because I'm going to get it from Brian anyway in 20 minutes.
Then get it from Brian.
And nothing works on you. You're like a shit trap.
No, not going to get anything from me. I know nothing.
Yeah. All right, Felice. Thanks for coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. Have fun out there in Invicta 7. And I'll definitely be seeing and talking to you soon.
I know, for sure. All right. Bye. Thank you.